So first things first, we're starting outside one of our homes. What's the main features of summer?
So that's a good question. Let me just go back to something you just said there, which because I think it's a very important caveat. Yeah, we're still in development. We are still working really hard, and I think we're about 3 months out from launch. So this is a developer build. It is still a work in progress. You might see some bugs in there, but I know you'll forgive us for that because I think it's really important that we start showing our fans more of this game after having talked about it last month, and that's what we're doing. But to your question, what are the features of summer? I think what we're seeing right here is kind of actually exactly the kind of summer we're seeing outside at the moment. Really hot. Yeah. And we said at E3 that we wanted summer in Forza Horizon 4 to be like the perfect British summer, and I think some people may be like sniggered a little bit because British summer doesn't have the greatest reputation. Certainly we're in the middle of a heat wave here. It's been 30 degrees. We haven't seen rain in weeks.
Everyone would be like, oh, if this was an English summer a few years ago, I'd be like, this isn't summer. There's no rain, there's no wind. It's just like a couple of days of sun, normally everyone's really happy.
Yeah.
But one thing as well is like, for everyone watching at home, if you've got any questions about Horizon 4, do drop them into the chat. Both Ralph and Ben will be answering them. So anything you've got, put your questions in the chat right now. But Ben, I know you love the trees.
Oh, I do.
Right, it's like, we've talked about it all day, right? Can you tell us a little bit about the trees in Horizon 4?
Sure. So it's fair to say every location that we go to with the Horizon game poses certain challenges when it comes to visuals, and Britain is known for being incredibly green in summer. It's one of the things when you have people who visit you from other countries. I don't know whether you've had the same thing, but people always go like, I can't believe how lush and green this country is, and so that was obviously a big focus for us this time. So we spent a lot of time completely overhauling all of the rendering work that we put into our foliage. So all of our foliage shaders now do some really cool things, like they model the transmission of light through leaves, they model the specular across individual leaves, and it's all built up to give us the sort of rich variety of different types of foliage that you have in Britain that you didn't necessarily have in locations like Australia, for example.
Yeah, it does look absolutely gorgeous, because you've got like individual leaf, like you've rendered individual leaves now, which will kind of like change the shadows.
Yes, per pixel lighting is the fancy term that we throw at that. That's what that is.
Per pixel lighting. Yeah. Because it's summer as well. Like the arc of the sun is different to other seasons, isn't it? So you're going to get different shadows and different colorings on these trees.
Yeah, sure. So here's a cool bit of backstory actually. So right back when we were first investigating the tech that is now inside this game in terms of how the lighting is being reproduced. We did some sky captures, some sky data captures, and we threw it actually on the Horizon 2 environment that we had back then on the Amalfi Coast. And that capture was taken from the UK in the middle of winter. And so it had this real stark kind of beauty to it. But it was also quite a bleak look, and we threw that on top of Amalfi, and instantly it kind of had this weird thing where it's like, I've never seen the Italian coast looking wintry like that. Yeah. So we knew that having the correct seasons captured and replicated in game was going to be a huge part of making sure that authenticity came through with regards to the lighting model. So this is true for this. So this is a capture that was actually taken last summer. So I don't know whether you remember, but actually we talk about this summer being amazing, but last summer was also pretty incredible.
Yeah, so it's a good replication. We've also just got some questions into the stream. So do Rangers ask, where are all the potholes in the roads?
Oh, they are. In fact, we just went...
Literally just passed one.
Good timing. That's what you want.
So actually on the subject of potholes, we have a process that we use in the studio called photogrammetry.
Yeah.
Basically where you take a ton of photographs of something and it will then reconstruct the thing you took the photographs of in 3D. And we actually did that with the potholes in this game. So we actually took people out and they did scans of real-life potholes, and they are...
So these are real potholes along the road.
Real British potholes.
You know, you've got to carry that history across. This is the British pothole. We've also got a question, because this summer is obviously, it's hot, it's beautiful, but one of the questions is, will it still rain in summer?
Yes, it will still rain in summer as it does here, and I'm sure it will still this summer. It's going to rain, right?
I hope so.
Eventually it has to.
The reservoirs are running out.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I guess a big thing about the seasons is how weather conditions change amongst them. What we've gone for, as I've said before, is kind of like the perfect British summer. Recreated in the summer of Forza Horizon 4, which means it's hot, which means the sun is high, but it's still going to rain, and it will still rain during summer. Probably just less so than it does in spring and autumn, which are much more our rainy seasons, I guess.
Like, one of the things, like, talking from weather, is the thing that makes me excited about seasons is it's going to help complement different racing styles. So, like, in winter, I can kind of see drifting being really effective because you're going on ice, while in summer you could be like straight road racing, you're going to be able to get those speeds. Is that something that you expect players to experience?
So I definitely think different seasons will complement like different styles of gameplay, different types of gameplay. One thing that we have really been really at pains to ensure within the game is that you can still do everything and have fun doing everything in every season, right?
Yeah.
That's incredibly important to us. So you can do everything in summer that you can in winter or autumn and spring. It all still works. Obviously, the seasons will change the driving experience, and you know, at its most extreme, in winter, you're going to have ice, you're going to have snow. That's going to change up the way you tackle corners, the kind of cars you take into races. But you can still take out a supercar and drive along a road which is clear of snow in winter, and you can still have fun with that. And we don't want to gate anything behind seasons.
So there's another thing with seasons. As we know, in winter, lakes are going to freeze over, and you're going to be able to go and like kind of visit areas that you wouldn't be able to see in summer. Is there anything like that in summer that's going to change, like with the heat? Is it going to like? Is there anything that's going to change?
Yeah, absolutely. So sorry.
You know, it's like,
Still with us?
Yeah. I got carried away looking at the game.
I don't blame you.
So yeah, actually, there is a really good example. So it's another water-based example. So our rivers, a couple of them completely dry up in summer. So there are numerous races that might make use of said river. So in summer, you can imagine that the race is very different. The experience of driving along a dry riverbed is very different to if it's running with water in spring. You might even want to reconsider which vehicles you use for said challenge, right? So there are definitely other examples.
Yeah, that's really exciting. It's one of the things that I'm most excited about seasons, like trying out different parts, and it's that extra level of exploration because the game looks completely different in winter compared to summer. So E3 demo, we talked a little bit about E3 earlier, is that on the demo you use the exact same road and it felt completely different in summer compared to winter.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't get that about the E3 demo because when you went from autumn to winter, that road just looked and felt so completely different. And you know, when we said, "Oh, that's the same road," you know, they were surprised.
Is it really?
So I think to your point, yeah, absolutely, people will be exploring the world when they first get the game, but they're going to be exploring it like 4 times over. You know, because every time the season takes over, there's going to be changes in the world. There's going to be new opportunities. There's going to be different things that you can do and see. Yeah,
because like the streams that we're doing, because we've got another stream next Tuesday, is week on week the season changes. Is that right?
So that's right, yeah, and I think that's a hugely important sort of concept within the game. It ties into the concept of Horizon Life. It ties into the fact that Horizon is now a year-round affair rather than just this thing that happens like forever in summer. And it's the fact that seasons change everything: visuals, gameplay, driving experience, events and championships, and they do so for everyone every week. And I think there's a really important sense of collective experience that comes from that. You know, I think everybody is going to be experiencing it together. Everyone's going to be talking about the things that they're looking forward to or the things they've found when it ticks over. And I think that's going to be a hugely important aspect of the game as we get past launch.
It's going to be amazing because it's like that moment that you may have raced in winter. It's just like you may be really comfortable with found state in winter. So like, oh, just wait till it gets to winter. It's going to give these like experienced players something to talk about and like throw back to, which is really cool. Another question from the chat as well is, tell us a size comparison of the map compared to Forza Horizon 3.
Sure. So it's almost exactly the same size as Forza Horizon 3's map, but obviously you'll be experiencing that map in 4 completely different scenarios. And as we said before, that seasonality changes absolutely everything. Dramatically changes the visuals in the world and the driving experiences.
So also talk about like ecosystems. I think it's wait, hold on, it is ecotypes. So Dante, I was just like ecoseasons, ecotype. No, I remember Dante said, what area of the UK is this based? I think that's
that's a good question. So the whole world, the Britain that we have built is taken from all over the United Kingdom. You know, so currently I think we're in the Lake District.
We are, yeah, near Derwent Water at the moment, actually.
That's right, yeah. I think you've seen bits of the Cotswolds as well, just as we've been driving around. But there is the Yorkshire Moors, there's the Welsh Valleys, there is the Scottish Highlands, you know, so we've got bits of Glencoe, we've got Glenfinnan Viaduct, we've got the city of Edinburgh.
There's a lot of Scotland in the. I wonder why.
Strangest thing.
Did you have any influence on that by any chance?
No, but I was pleased with the decisions that were made.
I bet you were.
So we always kind of do like a greatest hits of whatever location we visit with a Horizon game. It's exactly what we did with Australia.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't build the whole thing, but
it's like taking little parts of it to kind of.
The most beautiful bits, the most interesting and fun bits. It's exactly what we've done with Britain as well, and it turns out it's an incredibly varied world. I mean, Britain. I kind of feel like we've kind of rediscovered Britain ourselves from making this game. I think the majority of the team here at Playground are from Britain.
It's like I noticed just having a little play on it earlier is the little details like the road signs, like the road sign, and like you're going onto the motorway and you're like, hold on a second. It's like actually being in England.
So that was exactly the thing that got me as well when they went in, and we always we talked about the feedback we got from Australians last time, and one of the things Australians went like really nuts for was the wheelie bins. And we were just like,
and the phone booths as well.
Yeah. We were just like, cool. And now I totally get what they were saying, because it's kind of the little things, the mundane things. If you're from this location, the blue motorway signs, you're like, oh yeah, you really nailed that.
And then suddenly you just kind of put your foot on the accelerator and just go, go down a little bit faster. Also, another question from the chat, which you're like mentioning Edinburgh. Bishu Satsuma asks, are there any castles?
Oh, there are a few.
There are.
Yeah, so as well as some of the locations that Ralph mentioned, we've got Bamber in there as well, which people from the UK will probably recognise the name of. So that actually has a really cool, huge castle that we've created as a gameplay arena. So you can play modes like King and Infected there, and that is also set right on the edge of a beach. So it's like this really cool, dramatic visual where you get this massive coastline and then this.
That's going to look beautiful.
Yeah.
I can just imagine this kind of like, I can already see people making like time lapses of like all the different seasons and going back to like bits, like different points like Bamber Castle, and just kind of like it looking absolutely stunning. But another question from the chat from Octopus Decoy. I want to know if about mud and sand dynamic. Flexible beaches. How's that going to work in summer compared to different seasons? So
yes, like we were saying earlier, hottest season, least rain, water levels drop, the earth is all kind of baked and hard and dusty, so you don't get, I think I'm right in saying you don't get mud in summer?
You will, but only where it's really, really saturated. So
right,
if you get like the edge of a puddle or like a big lake, you get like a little bit.
So much less than you do in spring or autumn, which are obviously have higher rainfalls. But I'm glad Octopus Decoy brought that up, because deformable mud, deformable sand are both sort of kind of new features that we've got in the game, and I think it being autumn next week,
we'll get to see a little bit more.
I think we'll do a bit of deformable mud next week. Yeah.
Also, right, can we knock over some red post boxes, right, by Tyrannies?
Yes, and it is as satisfying as you would have imagined.
Do letters go flying everywhere, like the post?
You've got it, yeah, absolutely.
Now I kind of want to see a post box get hit. if we can find a post box, we'll try.
I feel
and
like
hit
there's
one.
probably one in Ambleside if you want to.
Yeah.
Cortana's just asked, right, because this is actually something we'll see later on in the stream as well. What kind of animals can we expect? Bunnies?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So you'll see bunnies flitting out across. Oh, there you go.
We've timed this well every time so far. Potholes, pothole, sheep. There we have them.
Yeah, and you might see the odd deer, for instance, and the north of the map. Some chickens, all of which are fantastically adept at avoiding cars.
Of course, like if you like, I'm just going to spend a lot of time trying to see if I can hit them. Like, it's going to be something we're going to try out later, see if we can manage. But also, something that I blew me away as well is how you said, because of how much detail has gone into every single season, is the sheep. They've got like more volume when it's colder.
That's one way about it.
Like, you know, like more volume, like you're shearing them a little bit.
Yeah, their wool is longer, their coats are longer, yeah, so they get shorn, they have more volume.
They've been using some volumizing shampoo or something,
like,
you know?
They just stepped out of the salon. They get shorn in spring, is it?
Summer, I think. No, it's summer, yeah, because they get hot, right?
Okay, and then their longest. So yeah, they do. There are yes.
They get the shampoo out in the winter.
Oh, okay.
Right, and there we go.
There you go. That was pretty satisfying.
Yeah, so our sheep are very.
Oh, there it is.